fellow music fans, welcome back to Psychology of Rock. If you're new here, my name's Nina, and just like you, I was so excited to see the artwork drop for the upcoming Warning album coming out June 28th called Keep Me Fed. And if we know anything about the Warning, we know that they love to give little Easter eggs and that they are very intentional with all of their media and that they put a lot of thought into it. Now, at the time I'm recording this, the album cover has literally just been released, so they, of course, have not had time to share the symbolism or meaning behind it. So I thought it would be fun today to kind of speculate what they are trying to get across so that when they do finally speak about it, we can see what we got right, what we got wrong, what we totally overthought, and what we completely overlooked. But as always, I have to give the disclaimer that this is just my own personal analysis. I'm in no way trying to speak for the band, and that, of course, all art can have multiple meanings and interpretations. I also want to say that the comment section for this channel never disappoints and that you guys always have incredible insights and observations, so please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts down below. I absolutely love reading through them. And with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. So here's the album cover, which is absolutely brilliant and beautiful, and it's the first time that they've actually put their own image on the cover, which I was pleasantly surprised to see. And being a huge Rush fan, there is something about the artwork that immediately reminded me of the artwork for Moving Pictures. There's a similar color scheme and the feeling that you're looking into a specific scene that's telling a story. Now, I am sure there is a ton of symbolism in this cover, and several things stood out to me right away, which I'm going to get into in just a moment. But I think to have a meaningful analysis, we have to think of the artwork in the context of the songs that are on the actual album. I also think that's going to give us some clues about what the title is trying to convey, which I will also speculate about. Now, of course, we've only heard a few tracks, but in my opinion, all three songs that we've heard so far, Hell You Call a Dream, Sick, and More, share several thematic connections that present similar social commentary on a world perceived as lacking meaning and purpose that has led to feelings of despair, isolation, and a search for connection, even through self-destructive means. And after diving into the songs more deeply, I found a few key common themes, such as despair and apathy, a yearning for connection and meaning, self-destructive tendencies, internal conflict and confusion, a craving for stimulation and escape, and feeling powerless or trapped in their situations. Now, we are about to hear the fourth new song called Que Más Quieres, and please excuse my terrible accent, but we will soon see if this song centers on these themes as well. And given this, there are a few possible meanings of the title, and maybe it's actually supposed to have more than one meaning. The one I'm leaning towards is that the title Keep Me Fed could be seen as ironic if the album explores the emptiness and unsustainability of a materialistic and disconnected lifestyle. So despite the constant pursuit of more that we see in the songs, the protagonists remain unfulfilled and trapped in a cycle of needing to be fed with external stimuli. This interpretation could be a critique of societal values that prioritize consumerism and digital life over genuine connection and meaning. Another interpretation is that they want to feed this destructive cycle, that they are seeking stimulation and escape even through harmful means, which would suggest that they are feeding the very cycle of self-destruction that traps them in despair. I also think the title could have something to do with a concern about manipulation and dependence on some kind of outside force, whether that be external validation or praise. If this is the case, it could be a statement about the lack of genuine emotional nourishment that they are experiencing, and how corporations and even society sometimes tries to fill these psychological needs in a way that serves only them, such as through consumerism. And given any of these potential title meanings, I think the artwork uses satire and is an exaggerated portrayal of overindulgence, with the band members shown in a gluttonous, violent, and greedy manner, which is completely opposite of their real personalities. I think this satire is meant to draw attention to the absurdity of constantly seeking external gratification through consumption and the emptiness that it leads to. I also think that if we look at the album cover through this lens, that it gives us a few clues about what the possible meaning of some of the elements represented in the artwork could be. So let's go through some of the things that stand out and discuss what they could potentially be suggesting. Firstly, we see some nods to some of the lyrics and videos that are already out. We see a fly and the cheese, which was a huge theme in the video for Sick, and that's a song that I have a whole video about if you want to check that out. We also see a bird cage, which could be a reference to the line in Hell You Call a Dream, which talks about the need to stay in a cage. But what's so powerful about this image is that it shows that the bird is out and that it's been replaced by cash. It's literally a cage filled with money with a bird just kind of sitting at the top. This is my absolute favorite image in the artwork. To me, by placing the bird outside of the cage but still being associated with it, it suggests a false sense of freedom. In other words, it escaped, but it's still tethered to the limitations it represents. This could symbolize individuals that believe that wealth brings complete freedom, only to find themselves trapped by the pressures and limitations associated with material possessions, or maybe fame in the case of the warning. Although, again, I really don't feel that the album is depicting their own experiences. On the other hand, however, the bird's position at the top of the cage could also represent a triumphant escape from the limitations of materialism. And I would love to hear what you think about this, so please leave a comment about this specifically. Another powerful image here is that cooked pig with a wad of money in its mouth, which I think could just be a further critique of materialistic excess and exploitation. It's like we go beyond just having this huge feast and the food isn't enough. We have to literally stuff it with money. It actually made me think of Squid Game, where the giant piggy bank gets filled with more and more money every time someone passes away. I think the image could be seen as commentary on the commodification of everything, even life itself. Something else that I think is notable is the candelabra in the back that has 3 candles. I think that could represent the 3 girls, especially because they are all different heights. There's also a book there that's buried. This could have some meaning, maybe symbolizing knowledge or faith if it's supposed to be a religious text. It's there, but no one's really paying attention to it. They've just kind of stacked some things on top of it. I also noticed that there's a lot of cherries in this picture. There's also other fruit, but a lot of cherries. And cherries are often associated with youth, innocence, and sweetness. So in this context, they could represent a loss of innocence or a yearning for unfulfilled desires. Cherries can also symbolize temptation, indulgence, and fleeting pleasure. So in the context of the album, they could represent unhealthy choices or self-destructive behaviors that provide temporary satisfaction but ultimately lead to negative consequences. I also think that it's quite intentional that there's this huge platter of donuts right next to Dany because we all know that she loves them. Now, going in a totally different direction, I also think that other people being on the album cover is symbolic in some way. I think it could be showing a lack of privacy or a feeling that they are always on display in some way, that they always have an audience, or that people are always judging what they're doing. It's also interesting that they're all dressed in dark colors when the band is dressed in red. There are a few things that come to mind here. The first is that red is often associated with revolution, rebellion, and a challenge to the status quo. Red can also be linked to danger, warning, and a call to attention, which makes perfect sense. The band members wearing red could be seen as a source of potential danger or disruption to societal norms. Although if we look at the picture, it seems like they are really doing the opposite. They seem to be participating in everything that they are warning against in the artwork. Pao seems like she's getting ready for violence, Dany is about to indulge in a big piece of cake, and Allie looks like she's either spilling or tossing wine, and her facial expression is showing that she's completely bored and underwhelmed by everything going on in the scene. So we have 3 completely different expressions and actions, with everyone looking kind of self-consumed, which I think works perfectly here. And there are so many other potential elements here, but they are so hard to see. I feel like there might be something going on with the artwork in the back, but I can't really tell what it's depicting, and there also may be some kind of Easter eggs on the floor and table, but it's very hard to see, so we'll have to wait for the girls to fill us in. I think it's going to be an incredibly thought-provoking album. I am so excited to hear it, but like I said, it comes out on June 28th, so we will have to wait until then, but hopefully they will continue to give us little Easter eggs and sneak peeks to kind of hold us over until that time. So those are my thoughts on the artwork and title, but I would love to hear yours, so don't forget to leave a comment down below. Also, I wanted to let you know that I will be posting a detailed analysis of Hell You Call a Dream as soon as humanly possible. I'm just waiting on that official audio and to make sure that I got the lyrics 100% correct. And with all of that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's analysis. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you very soon.